At 6 o'clock, we'll call this January 4th, 2023 Board of Adjustment meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Board Member Mitchell,
Present.
Meddy,
Here.
Whalen,
Present.
Soldwich,
Here.
and Bash.
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the January 2023 agenda. At 6 o'clock, we'll call this January 4th, 2023 Board of Adjustment.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from the last get together.
Second.
I will second that.
Motion by Renee, second by Amy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do we need to do something to give him?
We'll just note that he came in a little bit after we started.
Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October 2022.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 2022. I will second that.
Motion by Renee, second by Amy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business, 2023 election of officers.
I don't know if you need anything from me on this one, but this is pretty normal at the beginning of each year. So I know Bill has served as chair, I think, for 1 year now. And Renee, you've been vice chair, so we just need to either decide if we want to do officers differently, continue the same way we have been doing, or
I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. If you're willing to doing that wonderful job.
I accept.
Agreed.
I think it'd be good if you guys keep going.
Yes.
Great
Not broke, don't
continuity.
fix it.
Sounds good to me. No problem with that.
Do we need a motion?
yeah, I would just do motion just to affirm.
I move that we retain same officers that we had last year in 2022.
Second.
All right, motion by Jane, second by Lee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, next on the agenda, consider a request from One Source Solar on behalf of Jeff and Amy Brown for variance to allow a ground-mounted solar energy system to be located in the front and side yard at 1017 South Y Street.
And if the board will allow, we're gonna give a presentation here, but I am going to combine agenda item B and C into one presentation. And when we get to the items, we'll just take separate motions on them when we move forward. So put it on the screen here.
Sorry.
There we go. So some quick background on this. The subject property is located at 1017 South Y Street. The applicant, as stated, is One Source Solar, applying for both a variance and a special use permit. The special use permit request would allow for the ground mounted solar array at the property. And the variance request would allow for that ground mounted solar array to be located in both the side and the front yard of the property. Looking at the screen here above, you can see where the solar array is located there on the north portion of the property, which is just behind the detached garage that's on the property. When we look at where the yards are of the property, you essentially take a line and draw it across the front of the house from side property to side property line. Everything in front of that line would be considered the front yard. So you can see if you were to draw a line where that house is, that solar array is gonna be located a portion in the front yard and then a portion in the side yard. The special use permit request, if approved, would allow for the ground mounted solar array there, and again, the variance would allow for it to be in the side yard. Just some big background on the special use permit process. We do allow for solar systems within the city if they are roof mounted. They are allowed by right, meaning they just have to get a building permit. We review that at the staff level and issue the building permit. However, when we did our zoning code update, there was a lot of discussion on allowing ground mounted solar arrays. Initially, I think we kind of started not allowing those, but as we got a lot of feedback from the sustainability committee especially, they kind of pushed to have them allowed, so we made a compromise that those ground mounted arrays would come forward to the Board of Adjustment. I think what's unique about this piece of ground is it's a more agricultural style ground within the city limits. So you've got a lot of room for those ground mounted solar arrays to be located on there, where this, if this was a more urban style 25,000 square foot lot, I think we'd be having a lot more discussion on exactly the impacts on that. But we'll go through that. You can see this is a shot onto the property from Google Street View. I know the year was in the staff report, and I don't have it here in the presentation, but I think the year of this picture was like something 2009. That's how long it's been since Google's gotten some updated imagery on this. But if anybody's ever been out into this area, the shrubbery along the road and even on the side of the house has matured to a point where it's much taller than is shown on the screen here. And then you can see where that garage is located. Again, that array is going to be mostly on the back portion of that garage. Again, I noticed that I noted that the established shrubbery would act as a buffer from the proposed site location on adjacent properties to the north, as well as the public roadway. There are steep slopes that exist in the rear yard, which do not let themselves towards a ground mounted solar array system, which is why it is being proposed in the location it is. And we also did note that this site is a legally established non-conforming site, meaning that there are a lot of zoning violations on the site. However, they are grandfathered in. This property was fully developed while it was in unincorporated Warren County. It was annexed into the city of Indianola, I believe, in 2012, and those structures were in place when it was annexed into the city. However, again, the site does have a front setback of 235 feet from the road. So looking at what the comprehensive plan does note for this property, it does show it as agricultural on our comprehensive plan. There is a little bit of a low to medium density residential also located on this property. So I think its current use does fit the intent of the comprehensive plan. And with that, we, staff, are recommending approval of both the variance and the special use permit request as submitted. If there are any questions of me, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Of course, I have a question. Is this the number of, based on the other calculation on how many panels you can have based on the size of the home? Is this the max number of panels? Is this the max number of panels you can have put up?
Based on what Mid-American says you can have, because they only allow you to have like 110% of your usage. So you don't build a massive array and basically are selling it only. So it's the maximum size that they allow, which is supposed to cover our needs.
And is it the maximum number of panels based on the number of panels, the square footage of the panels versus compared to the size of the house? I don't remember that.
Yeah, the one we were talking about before, as far as the square footage allowed on there.
Not on the green space, but isn't there also I read that in the staff report because I wouldn't know it otherwise. You could have panels that equal, or you could have accessory buildings equaling 40% of the square footage of the house.
Look at that really quick here.
I just wondered if all of a sudden Mid-American said you could fill up your yard, then because we're approving, if we go forward and approve panels, are more panels allowed to be put up?
So anything above and beyond what is proposed in this application would require another special use permit. So yeah, okay, if that's your question, you're not giving carte blanche to say you can put as many, you can fill the yard with it. No, the application in front of you states that it's going to be this number of panels. Anything above and beyond that would require most likely a new special use permit or an amendment to this special use permit, both of which would be approved by the board, or reviewed by the Board of Adjustment, excuse me.
This doesn't set precedent for, because this is a great sized lot, huge. But it doesn't set precedent for someone that has a small lot to come back and say, you allowed it someplace else?
I don't think so. Again, the Board of Adjustment would have to look at all the factors and how it meets the findings criteria, the findings of fact criteria within the code. Another 3-acre lot that came and asked it, maybe you've set the precedence for some of those larger ones. But a smaller lot, I think you can easily say, no, the impacts of this are gonna be much different just based off the size of the lot, the adjacency of neighbors, setbacks and all of that stuff.
And I guess I would just hope that gets in the minutes, that it's not a precedent for every lot that's possible. This is a big lot, so yeah.
Were neighbors notified and any response there?
I never talked to anybody about it, so yeah.
I wasn't,
Did mail letters out to them.
Yes, yep, postcards, actually. Same
I wasn't aware this was all going on until we got a postcard ourselves. It's like, oh, okay,
thing. Yep.
You the homeowner?
yes.
Anything else you wish to add to?
Not, no, I guess the only thing is that, like earlier that showed the picture of the shrubbery, I've got updated pictures I took today that, if anybody cares, that's what the front looks like. Anybody, now, you don't see the garage at all, so it's, and the side yard has got 2 rows of trees as well, so it's all, we started growing our privacy fence years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's all gonna be completely covered. Kind of the main reason we went for a ground array instead of a roof array, you know, the house wasn't good for that, the front of the garage would have been. But if we have to re-roof the garage at some point, then it costs $4,000 to take it off and put it back on. And since we had plenty of space, it just made more sense to put it on the ground and not have to worry about that.
Will you have some additional protective measure that surrounds the array from, say, meddling kids who wanna kind of run through a yard?
No,
Just curious.
other than the existing barbed wire fence from the,
Other-
yeah, because it was agriculture, but no, no, and I don't think they could hurt anything anyway, but I don't have any plans for that. I don't know. That'd be I don't know. I'm not the expert on that. But to some extent, if you ever wanted to clean it off or wipe snow off, if you had a structure around it, that would be a little bit of a problem, I would think. And you wouldn't want to have a big fence to block the sun anyway.
I have a question. How do you mow underneath it?
From my understanding, it's going to be at a pretty good angle.
So you
So
can get in from the back
the
side?
backside, I should be able to. The front, I don't know, but my plan is to put white rock underneath it because for this type of, it'll reflect light and get more energy from the backside as well. So that's going to be my plan to do that.
Interesting. And you said you think it'll be 110% of your usage?
Just under that, between 100 and 110%, and that's, learned about this during the process, that the power company limits the size of the array you can put in, you know, and so you want to fit it to your side because you don't want to underserve it, and you don't want to have, like I said, a big one that you're going to just provide power, because that's not what the power companies want, is to have you feed energy to them only.
Any other questions, comments? Entertain a motion?
Just for order of motion, again, we did do it 2 applications, so the variance comes first, just because we need the variance to approve the special use permit.
Make a motion to approve the variance and the special usage permits?
They have to be separated,
Yeah.
so
They have to be separated? Okay. I make a motion to approve the variance as written here.
Second.
All right, motion by Renee, second by Lee. Roll call, please.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Meddy,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Soldwich,
Yes.
Bash.
Yes.
Okay, next I'll entertain a motion for the special use permit for this project.
I will make a motion to approve the special use permit for this project.
I will second that motion.
Motion by Amy, second by Renee. Roll call, please.
Meddy,
Yes.
Whalen,
Yes.
Soldwich,
Yes.
Bash,
Yes.
Mitchell.
Yes.
Okay, you're all set.
Have fun.
Next, we'll entertain a motion to approve the 2023 Board of Adjustment calendar. Anything from staff on this?
Really quick, the only thing I will note is your July meeting as proposed today on July 5th. Still a little bit unsure on how that's gonna work out, since the 4th is on a Tuesday and council typically meets on the first Monday of the month. They would be meeting on the 3rd. We haven't set, the council gets their calendar set by fiscal year, so we haven't set that one yet. But if that meeting happens to get moved to the Wednesday because they don't wanna do it on the Monday before the holiday, that would just affect this meeting. We'd probably just move the meeting to a Thursday or something like that, but we'd work with you to find that date. So anyways, just put an asterisk by that date for now. It's scheduled, but we may have to.
I move that we approve the proposed 2023 calendar.
Second.
Motion by Jane, second by Lee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anything else from staff? Comments?
I don't have anything. I we're finalizing our year-end report on the permitting. I know we're number of permits, down just a few from where we've been the last couple of years, but valuation was way up. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we're getting more commercial in this year. I think we were just looking at it last year. I think our residential to commercial valuation was like 75-25. This year it's gonna be close to 50-50. Which is awesome. So, cause we, the city, get more taxable value from commercial properties than we do residential properties, so that helps us a little bit more. But, I think that's just a trend metro-wide and even nationwide right now is residential is down a little bit, but commercial is continuing to go up, so.
Next year, Charlie, do you think you'll be starting to send out those weekly reports of new permits that are issued?
So we just, we've been transitioning to an online permitting system now for the last really almost 6 to 9 months. Just with the beginning of 2023, we moved all of our building permit onto that stuff. So one thing that we have to do now that we've built all these programs is we have to learn how to get the reporting functions out of those. That's something we have training actually, I think, next Thursday. The next 3 Thursdays, we have training on how to do all that stuff, and we're gonna learn how to do some of that reporting function. So it would be our hope that we would get that moving, both code enforcement, because code enforcement is all in that system right now, building permits. We could probably even do plumbing, mechanical, driveway, sidewalk permits, and all that stuff that are in there. So yes, that is our hope.
It was just very.
Yep.
I thought it was really good when it was sent out.
Yep.
And I think it just helped in the communication.
Yep, so that is our hope, is to get that out, and we'll start doing that. I know, I believe everybody on the Board of Adjustment gets our month-end permit reports that we send out. But yeah, we can give the ones with more detail here very soon, so.
Anything from the board? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I second it.
Motion by Lee, second by Jane. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.